Everyone, I am Dr. Mrigang Chaube from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, India. I'll be presenting a study conducted at our institute titled as a study of pulmonary arterial compliance in patients with congenital heart disease with increased pulmonary blood flow. Pulmonary circulation is a low pressure, high volume circulation. The present assessment in patients with acyanotic congenital heart disease largely relies on pulmonary vascular resistance. The pulmonary arterial compliance represents the dynamic component of pulmonary vasculature. In patients with shunt lesions, pulmonary arterial compliance has not been adequately studied, and without inclusion of the compliance, pre-op evaluation of pulmonary circulation remains incomplete. We sought to study the pulmonary arterial compliance in patients with acyanotic congenital heart disease with increased blood flow and its utility in clinical decision making. Ours was a single center retrospective study. Cardiac catheterization data of consecutive patients of all ages over 1 year was calculated. PCA was calculated in addition to the other parameters by the pulse pressure method, which means that the formula used was the pulmonary arterial compliance was derived by the ratio between right ventricular stroke volume and the pulse pressure. We also calculated the RC time of our patients by the multiplication of arterial compliance and resistance. Patients included were divided into operable, borderline, and inoperable based on the final decision of the initial treatment. We studied a total 298 patients between the ages of 2 months to 70 years with a median age group of 16 years. 56% of our patients were pediatric age group. ASD was the most common defect in our study patients, and we had about 75% of our total study group was clearly operable. 11 and 13% were borderline and clearly inoperable. The median PVRI for our overall study group was 3.3. Patients underwent catheterization for various reasons, including device closure and oxygen reversibility testing. We found that in our overall study group, the pulmonary arterial compliance was significantly lower in inoperable and borderline groups when compared to operable groups. However, the borderline and inoperable groups did not statistically differ in the pulmonary arterial compliance. A value of pulmonary arterial compliance less than 1.18 predicted correctly identified inoperability with a high sensitivity and specificity. On subgroup analysis, this difference persisted in patients with ASD, VSD, PDA, and AVSD. We also studied the relationship between pulmonary arterial compliance and resistance and found it to be an inverse parabola. This has been studied earlier also, and a thought did cross our mind that this inverse parabolic relation may be due to use of common parameters in the two formulas. However, this mathematical modeling of this has already been done, and the concept has been refuted. The PCA PVRI relation, inverse parabolic relation, was maintained across the operability spectrum and across the individual lesions. We also studied the response of various parameters to oxygen. Pulmonary arterial compliance showed an mean increase of 0.77 in the entire study group, and the RC time also changed with administration of oxygen. The direction of change of compliance was opposite to that of pulmonary vascular resistance, but the magnitude was higher for pulmonary. We did an exercise by review of data of the borderline patients by a team of experienced cardiologists who classified these patients into likely operable and likely inoperable. And the patients were then reclassified based on the pulmonary arterial compliance alone as operable and inoperable. We did not find an agreement in these two decisions. Pulmonary arterial compliance in patients with acyanotic congenital heart disease has been studied earlier only in a few studies with a smaller number of children, and the authors found that the pulmonary arterial compliance was significantly lower in children with PAH. Another study studied the pulmonary arterial compliance in adults with Eisenmenger physiology. The pulmonary compliance was lower in advanced vascular disease, and a value lower than 1 predicted poor prognosis. Our study, however, to the best of our knowledge, is the first one to address the issue of operability in children. We calculated the pulmonary arterial compliance in a subgroup of patients with no PAH, assuming that the pulmonary vasculature of these patients will be relatively normal. The calculated value in our study was higher than the literature quoted normal. The earlier studies had used a ratio of QPQS of nearly 1 in the patients who were presumed to be normal. In our study, the mean QPQS of patients who did not have PAH was 2.1. Normal pulmonary vasculature is capable of significant stretch upon volume loading, so we postulate that a higher flow in a relatively healthy vessel would probably lead to a higher radial stretch and therefore higher calculation. The RC time is the product of pulmonary vascular resistance and compliance. It has been postulated to be constant in earlier studies. If it is so, then out of PVRI and PCA, if one is known, the other can be derived. This concept has been challenged in earlier studies, and our study also found the RC time to be different in operable versus inoperable patients. And we also found that the RC time changed with administration of oxygen. To the best of our knowledge, this is our study is the first one addressing the role of pulmonary arterial compliance in operability assessment or in patients with acyanotic congenital heart disease. There are some major limitations to our study, the first and foremost being its retrospective nature. Final operability assessment of our patients was also not backed up by follow-up data of patients. But due to inclusion of a large sample size of patients with all age groups at different stages of pulmonary vascular disease and in a variety of lesions, we believe that our study generates a strong case for inclusion of pulmonary arterial compliance in pre-op assessment of children with acyanotic congenital heart disease with increased pulmonary blood. To conclude, we retrospectively studied a large group of patients with congenital acyanotic heart disease and could calculate the pulmonary arterial compliance value in subsets with no PAH, with PAH but operable, inoperable, and borderline cases. A pulmonary arterial compliance lower than 1.18 ml per millimeter mercury per meter square suggests inoperability. The pulmonary compliance and resistance relationship was an inverse parabola, and it did not, when used alone, the value of PCA did not agree with empirical clinical decision in borderline patients. Pulmonary arterial compliance, though known for long, has not been a focus of many studies. Inclusion of PCA in pre-op assessment is likely to give us a more comprehensive evaluation of the pulmonary vasculature. However, further studies, especially prospective ones in the subject, are warranted. Thank you.